A new study shows high costs and short supply are hurting the U.S. housing market. Harvard University's The State of the Nation's Housing 2026 report found household growth, the net change in the total number of occupied housing units or households from year to year, slowed for the third straight year in 2025. This key driver of housing demand fell from an average of 2 million homes in 2021 to just about 1 million homes last year. For more, Chris Herbert joins us now. He's the managing director of the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies. Thanks for being here. Why is this happening, and what are people doing instead?
Well, really, there are three reasons why it's happening. The first is just what's happening in the economy. When people are deciding whether or not to move out on their own, it depends on whether they have a job, do they feel confident in that job, and how much does housing cost and can they afford it? And in the current market where we're producing fewer jobs, consumer confidence has lowest levels in years, and housing is so unaffordable. So many young people in particular are just making the choice to stay either with roommates or with mom and dad longer. So that's the short-term trend. Long-term, there's two other things that are happening. One is that we have a slowdown in population growth due to fewer births and the higher deaths among the baby boom generation. And importantly, the crackdown on immigration is also reducing household formation. So we have a three-part whammy that's hitting household growth. And actually, given those trends, we expect it to continue going into the next year or so.
And we know the lack of inventory drives prices up. This report found homeowners' monthly costs are near record highs. What other factors are contributing to this?
Yeah, and when we talk about homeowner costs, there's two pieces to it. One is existing homeowners. And if we look at existing homeowners, we've seen the number of owners with cost burden spending more than 30% of their income on housing go way up over the last few years. The chart you're showing here, though, is the cost of buying a home. And so that's a function of really two pieces. It's what's the price of a home, and what's the interest rate on that mortgage. And so what we've seen here is since the pandemic, home prices have gone up astronomically. And that was fueled in part by the fact that we had interest rates as low as 3%. Now interest rates are 6.5%. So you put those home prices with that interest rate, and you get a doubling in the cost of the median price home just since 2019.
We're out of time, but what does your report suggest the federal government do anything?
You know, the cruel math is that housing costs more than people can afford. And so what we really need to do as a government is think about ways to subsidize that cost of housing, particularly for low-income households. We've been trying to fiddle around the edges for too long, and it's time to really step up and commit more resources to make housing affordable for so many people who can't afford it.
Chris Herbert, thank you.
Thank you.